It's the Flow Friday Night Sports Show, and it's time to talk Great Flinders footy now. Back in action last weekend and continuing on this weekend as well. Chris Prime is on the line. Primey, how are you, mate?
Look, I'm good, Reeks.
Excellent. Good to have you back. And a couple of games last weekend. Obviously, in your situation, no games for Tumby Bay, one of the three clubs that had a bye, along with the E United and Lock. But there were two games that were played, and they both had significant ramifications for the latter. We're going to start today with Elliston Districts. And before we talk about the score of this game, I know there's some news out of Great Flinders about Elliston Districts that I'm sure you want to share with us, mate.
Look, the clubs voted this week, and Elliston Districts are now fully fledged part of Great Flinders. They are here to be part of our league. So, look, that's great news. I think everyone was pretty happy with the way things have gone this year. And, let's just make it official.
Oh, that's good news. So, a couple of questions that you may or may not be able to answer on this, Primer, yet, and I guess more of this will be worked out in the future. But does that mean now that there'll be an official merger between those two, or has that not been decided yet?
Look, I'm not sure. I think they were having meetings about that, whether that was going to be official. And I think this is probably the first thing to get over the line.
Yes.
And look, I think they didn't want to merge and then go, hold it, we can't go to Great Flinders.
Yeah.
And I think now that they can see that all the clubs here are happy to have them, and look, it's made Great Flinders footy step up a bit. Like,
yeah,
that extra side, it's a bit of a new lease of life on it. So I think from there now they'll go back and fix their end, and there'll be a full merger.
Sure. All right. Well, we'll wait and see what comes out in the wash there. That's still to be decided. But were there any conditions put down by Great Flinders clubs? And the reason I ask this is I know that there was some concern about certain clubs not wanting to travel all the way up to Pootra and Minipet to play away games, but obviously that got worked out to a point. Is that was there any talk about that before allowing them in and what that might look like?
Look, I didn't hear any of that talk, but we travel. Generally, you have one trip up there,
sure,
maybe two. I think most clubs have actually made a weekend of it. People go, well, hold it, let's go and we're going to Elliston, we're going to Minipet, we're going to Petra. We're going to make a weekend of it. So I think people have embraced it that way, and I think that will continue. If we have to travel a bit further for 1 week, then so be it.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. So very hospitable folk up that way. They'll take good care of you if you plan to make a weekend of it and you've got a game at Pootra or Minipet. They'll take good care of you up there, Primey.
Yes, I am aware of that. And sometimes they take too good a care of us. I know good is not a word, but yeah. You know what I mean?
Just like the folk of Elliston, no disparaging remarks there. The hospitality in Elliston is just as good. Don't worry about that. But, yeah, they'll go the extra mile for you up there at Pootra and Minipet. So, look, that's good. I'm glad they found a home. That's the most important thing, and it's good that Great Flinders have signed off on it. So, well done, you guys.
Yeah, look, it is good, and I think I got asked a question today in regards to EP footy, and I think the sides and the leagues, all what happened at the start of the year has just made the whole EP stronger in those leagues. So, look, I think it's been a positive not just for Great Flinders but for the other leagues on EP.
We'll talk about other possibles out of that decision down the track. Now's not the time for that. What we will talk about is Elliston Districts on the field last weekend, taking on United Yolana. And, look, it was a first-half blitz from the Eagles that really did them in the end. They put some respectability back on the scoreboard late, but the reality is the Eagles were far too good for Elliston Districts. They beat them 13-11, 89 to 6-5, 41. And that's a loss that could dent Elliston Districts' finals chances.
Oh, look, it was, and we said about this last week, like they could get over the line here. Look, they were right in the mix, and they'll be disappointed. Like, I think they got off to a good start, held them for that first quarter, and then like that, the second quarter just blew them away. And like you go down by 5 or 6 goals in a quarter, it's hard to pick back against a good side like your ladder. And Elliston District, battled away, but ended up that 7 goals down at the end of the day.
Crittenden, that's, I assume, Stephen, booting 4, Carr 3, Matty McLaughlin back home booting 2, and Michael Crittenden 2 as well. Crittenden, Carr, Crittenden and Norton named in the best for them. For Elliston Districts, Williams booted 2, and best for them, Horgan, Bascom, that's Ross Bascom, Scotty Feldis, what a champ, Bascom, Shepherd and Paul named in their best. So still some work to do to play finals football there in Great Flinders, Elliston Districts, and we'll talk about what's to come for them soon. First, though, let's have a look at the other match which was played, and Elliston Districts would have been barracking for Cougars, ironically, in this game, and they got their wish. Cougars did get the job done, but only just, Primey.
Oh, look, it was a pretty tight game, and when I saw the scores, I had to rack my brain and think, was it windy, wet? Because both sides can score quite freely, but it must have been a pretty tough struggle there for both sides, because it's only 3 goals each at 3/4 time. And obviously Cougars kicked away, if you call 2 goals kicking away in the last.
Yeah, final score is 5-12-42 to Ramblers 3-4-22. So only 20 points in it in the end, only 4 points in it at 3/4 time. So not much in it between these two, but you're right, an unusually low scoring game for two teams who are known for, well, in particular Cummins, Kapini, that is, the Cougars boys, known for kicking a score.
Yeah, look, and that's what shocked me when I saw the score. Like, look at, that's a quarter's work for them, a lot of weeks, and like Ramblers are really good at locking things down, and like they structure really well. So the coaching staff obviously had a bit of a plan, and they put it in place, and just couldn't quite get a couple of goals there in the last quarter to get them over the line.
For the record, Yowie Wagner booted 3. That's probably going to hurt his chances of getting to 100 in the minor round at the very least. Falciani booted 2 as well, and he was named best for Cummins Kapini Cougars. Watch out for him on medal night. I reckon he's a smoky, Primey.
Look, we discussed this last week. Umpires have got a tough job looking after us all day, and then they've got to pick best players. So it can go anywhere. Guys you think are going to poll well often don't, and then you get ones that come out, as you said, a smoky comes out of nowhere and gets over the line. So I still think bloke who's averaging 9 goals a week, apart from last week, is going to poll pretty well.
Exactly right, and they might hurt each other, take some votes off of each other throughout the year. But we'll wait and see. There's a few others that have been going pretty well for Cougars throughout the year as well. So, got to mention for Ramblers too, see Luke Rowe's name in the goal kickers. Good to see him running around on the footy field again. Stoll, Dennis, Pilgrim, Cox and Franklin, along with Jesse Rule, named in Ramblers best for the day. So, we move on to this weekend's round of matches, and it should be interesting considering the situation on the ladder, and we'll refer back to that as we go through these fixtures. So, first of all, at Kapini, Tumby Bay, your boys heading up to Kapini to take on Cougars. This is first versus fifth on the A-grade ladder. I think most of the interest will be centred around what happens in the reserves, won't it, Primey?
Oh, look, I think it's actually first versus sixth to make matters worse in the A-grade.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Yeah, but look, and interest in the B-grade is I think we have to win our last couple of games to have a shot at making the finals. Look, the Blues are playing for pride, and this was supposed to be our bye, so I know there's a couple of guys away that had organised trips away for the 14th because that was listed as our bye at the start of the year, so we'll see what we end up with. But look, it's been a tough year, and I don't think it's going to get easy Saturday.
Yeah, it should be an interesting day. Cougars will win the A-grade, you would think, and we'll see what comes of that reserves clash. But as we move on to other fixtures, let's have a look at this one now. This is pretty important for a number of clubs. The Eagles, United Yolanda at Karku, hosting Lock. These neighbours have a bit of a rivalry at the best of times. United Yolanda have fairly well dominated that rivalry of recent times, but Lock, if they could get one back on their old foe here, it would go a long way for them playing finals footy.
Look, yeah, and it would. Like with Ellison Districts having the bye and on the same points as Lock, it's important for Lock to have a good game, not to. Like if they get a win, they guarantee, I think, that third spot. Look, and a loss of any significance might put them in a chance of missing out. But yeah, I think Yolanda will win. Lock will battle it, but yeah, look, it will be a tough day for I think everyone.
Well, you're right. Lock's percentage at the moment is much better than those of Ramblers and Elliston Districts, who Elliston Districts, as you rightly pointed out, have the bye, but we'll get to Ramblers in a moment. I think they've got a 12% percentage gap between themselves and Ramblers in fourth spot, and it's 14% between them and Elliston Districts. But a bad loss doesn't take long for that to evaporate.
No, it doesn't. They might lose 3 or 4% if they had a bad loss, but look, I don't think it'll be a bad loss. I think it'll be a close game. But Yolanda is sort of building for that time of year, and they'll get over the line.
Exactly right. I think, they're safe as houses in the top two at the moment, the Eagles, but they'll want to continue on ready for finals. Last match of the round is Ramblers taking on Air United at Ungara. I don't think Ramblers will be held to 3 goals in this one, Primey, and percentage for them is vital in this game, so I don't think there'll be any mercy either.
Look, no, but Air United have played, the last couple of games they've played, they've done pretty well. I think when they met Ramblers earlier in the year, they held them for about 3 quarters, and look, they'll be looking for the same sort of thing this week. Like Ellison Districts, their last game, they pushed, and it wasn't until halfway through the last quarter. So they're improving, and they'll be looking forward to having a couple of chances to edge a win on the board.
Yeah, exactly right. So, finally poised season at the moment in Great Flinders football. Primey, anything else as we wrap it up?
No, look, I think we're all wearing masks again this week. So, look, everyone just try and do the right thing. I know people will be around being COVID marshals and asking you to do stuff. Look, let's be respectful of them and, just try and do the right thing on Saturdays and, be respectful of each other, and no one's trying to put you out of line, but we just try and do the right thing to make sure we can keep playing footy.
Well said, mate. Good stuff. Good luck to you. We're having a kick this weekend. We will catch up with you again next week.
No worries. Thanks, Reed.